Hey folks, this is Wednesday, September 16th already. Um, here, Larry did a wonderful show with Jason yesterday. It was really great. Two people saying, had about 400 views, I think live. He said he had more than that, so he must have had it on multiple channels because there were 436, I think, when I checked the numbers yesterday. All right, let me put you under the microphone and take it away.
All right, folks. Well, we're getting close. We're getting closer every day to the election. Now, I hope if any of y'all listened to Jason's program yesterday, I was a bit concerned about it because I was giving out a lot of information, rapid fire. The trick with the polling, the trick with Trump pulling ahead at the last minute. And I just hope everybody forgives me if I just brushed over things and didn't explain it enough. But a lot of things are going on. How many we got on here now? Ellen, so I need to know if I want to break some news.
Not yet. We've got 15, but it's remember with the couple minute delay that it takes a bit for everybody to get on for us to see.
I'm fixing to give you some news that nobody is supposed to know. I don't even think I'm supposed to know it. And it'll make a lot of things connect that maybe you've all been wondering about.
Okay, let's interrupt just a sec. We've got 20 people here. Scott, thank you for the Western Union's been delivered and spent. And there was somebody Monday night who heard the call on the program here that Larry couldn't go back to the hospital and without some large funds to pay his copay. And we were able to get that money in, and we are so incredibly grateful.
Yes.
I think it was Robert. I didn't see the name, of course, because I don't.
Curtis or something like that. I'm sorry that I don't have the name.
I thought anyhow, I thought it was a Robert, but whatever it was, you know who you are, and if you want your name put, let me go the other direction. If you want your name thrown in the hat to draw for this wreath here, make sure you text me and let me know. I am just putting up Larry's PayPal right now, and that's all I'm going to put up right now.
Well, there's a couple of things that happened. Yesterday, there were apparently two major gaffes. One by Kamala Harris and one by Biden. And it's got everybody buzzing. Everybody on the inside beltway, they're just buzzing. What did it mean? What did it mean? And what they're talking about is where Kamala Harris was talking about in a Harris-Biden administration, meaning she would head the top of the ticket. But then she recovered and corrected it and said, a Biden-Harris. But then, of all things, Joe Biden does it. He did it later on in the day. Now, what does it mean? What on earth could possibly be going on? Think about it. Who have you ever heard running for president that got confused and put the vice presidential candidate calling it their ticket, not the person actually running? Think about it. You hadn't heard that before.
Well, and that's not all that Kamala did, Larry. She continued to talk about when I'm president.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just the one little gaffe of Harris-Biden. She was saying, when I'm president, we're going to do within 30 days or 60, 90, whatever it was. We're coming for your guns and all this stuff.
Well, let me tell you what's happening. I believe Biden is a token. As I have since day one. I do not believe that the Democratic National Committee, Democratic Party, I don't believe for 1 second that they're waking up today and realizing that Biden is losing some of his screws. I don't believe that. No. I believe they've known that since day one. But you see, you got to watch the Democrats. What on earth could be going on? Well, do y'all remember 2016? Remember the tricks that the DNC pulled to make sure that Hillary got the nomination? They pulled every dirty trick in the book at the state level to make sure if they didn't have rules that she won, then they changed the rules so that she did win. Well, here's what I think you may be seeing the beginning of. They know Harris, Kamala, or however you pronounce her name, they know she does not have the national name awareness to carry a ticket, especially against somebody like Trump. They know that. But what if that's who they really want? What if that's who they really want to be their candidate?
Well, Larry, she's more of a puppet than Bernie Sanders would be. Bernie Sanders has his own way and own thoughts of how to do things, and he's gonna stick to his guns, I think, more than she would.
Well, where everything's falling apart for the Democrats is now you've got Bernie Sanders over here screaming at Biden, saying, wait a minute, you've got to do more than just attack Trump. You've got to stand for something. You know, you've got to put some proposals out there. You've got to put some plans out there. And of course, what he's trying to do is trick Biden into adopting his economic plan. That's what they're trying to do. So he's trying to force Biden to do that. Then you've got Harris over here, who's not strong enough by herself to carry a ticket. But what if she runs under Biden up until the very last minute, and then all of a sudden, Biden just is fatigued. He just really is fatigued, and he has to take second fiddle or bow out totally. Now they got her in a major game of getting her name out there to everybody. If that trick happens, everybody in the country is going to know her name, and they're going to know, wow, what a deal. You know, it starts out with Biden, now we got her. And remember, Kamala Harris, she is 100% in line with AOC and the mob, or whatever they call that group. Do you see it?
The four, yeah.
See, she is 100% a part of that group. So now you've got Sanders squeezing Biden. You've got Harris being squeezed by the flock. And the Democrats are sitting there going, oh my God, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And remember, what would ordinarily be guaranteed defeat, ordinarily, with the way this thing is playing out, there's no way Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, there's no way either one of them could possibly win. No way. Just could not happen. Were it not for the media. Were it not for the media. And every time you turn on the television set and you hear Donald Trump say something, you will hear a litany of quote-unquote mainstream media personages that come out and call him a liar. Just literally come out and call him a liar. It's amazing when you look at the polling data that is coming in. Now remember, it's rigged, so don't put a lot of stock in it.
Now, Larry, when you're saying it's rigged, Trump keeps telling the true numbers on Twitter. Trump keeps putting out the true numbers on Twitter that he's got 51% of the nation and 80% of the Republicans.
Yeah, but what he's doing is he's taking their or his internal data.
Right.
The way the polls are being rigged right now, and if you will go on the internet and look at any of the polling that's come out, it should be there somewhere if you can find it. They'll bury it, they'll hide it, make it hard for you to find. But what you're going to find is there's such a thing as a qualified respondent. Now, a qualified respondent is a person that takes the poll, goes all the way through, and becomes qualified. In other words, they answer all the questions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then you have respondents, but respondents that are not qualified, that means they may have started out answering one or two questions, then got tired of it, and hung up the phone. So what they're doing right now, if you look at the internals of the polls that you see on ABC, NBC, CBS, et cetera, the polling data you see, if you go to the internals on the internet, you will find that of the qualified respondents, meaning the ones that you count, they're going somewhere around 70-80% are people that somewhere in the poll there's a question that qualifies the respondent. Somewhere in there, it's going to ask them, do you consider yourself a Republican or a Democrat? Or do you consider yourself more likely to vote Republican than Democrat, et cetera, et cetera? And what they're doing is they're taking 70-80% of the people that identify themselves in some manner as a Democrat, and they're counting them. So now you're at 70% versus 30%. Trump can't win. Nobody can win at that game. Nobody. But just hang on. Hang on. Remember, when Biden goes out and he speaks, if they ever slip up and pull away with the camera or cameras, you will find when he speaks, there might be 6 to 10 people there. 6 to 10 people, maybe. Now, when Trump shows up, good heavens, you're into the 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, etc. Think about that. Trump has excitement. Trump has momentum. Biden does not. What I can't stand are the Republicans. You see, the Republicans, both House and Senate, they should be all over running in concert with Trump, but they're not. They're cowards. They're so afraid for their job. They are so scared that Trump might say something that if they get connected to it, they might lose their job as being a senator or congressman. And they can't allow that. You see, nothing fundamentally has changed in Washington. Members of Congress, Senate, and House never forget. They care about one thing only, and that's their job. Not yours, not mine, not ours. Their job. And they'll do whatever they've got to do to keep that job. They're not sold on Donald Trump, in case you haven't noticed. Oh yeah, there are some Republican leaders. There are some that are steadfast with Trump. But the far majority are not. not like Trump. Well, because Republicans in the House and the Senate, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? They want business back the way it always has been. They don't want this new prosperous America. They don't. Y'all remember the word I've taught y'all that just strikes fear in the halls of Washington? One word. Empowerment. You see, as long as we the people have to count on government to give us stuff, then we're not empowered. Empowerment means we have the power to control our own lives, our own destiny. And Washington does not want that. I'm talking about Republican or Democrat. They don't want that. They want to be right in the center of things to where we must depend on them, and they need us to know every day that we must depend on them. And that's how they keep us tied up in knots. Empowerment. And along comes Donald Trump. Well, you know, he didn't need their money to run his race in 2016. Said he didn't. He didn't get enough money to pay for it out of his own pocket, and he did to a great extent. See, that's true empowerment. That's where he controls his destiny. That's where he calls the plays, he calls the shots for himself. Think about it. They can't allow that. Neither side, neither Republican or Democrat. Can't allow that. What a trend. Would that not be horrible if that started? Would that not be something if that started a trend? And all these people started running for Congress? And they didn't need the power brokers' money. They didn't need the big lobbyist money. Wouldn't that be something? And all of a sudden, just that one thing, that one word, empowerment, that one shift where, wouldn't it be something if we had all of these Republicans and even Democrats that did not need the system's money? We would be free as a nation virtually overnight. The change would come off instantly. So never forget, when it looks like we're fighting one enemy, don't be confused. We got more than one enemy in Washington, D.C. And we got an awful lot of people trying to hurt us. Now yesterday, Donald Trump put together, now it's called a peace plan package. It really wasn't a peace package as such. It really wasn't. For there to be a peace negotiation, we have to be at war, and we're not at war, nor are these countries, not Israel, UAE, they're not at war. This was more of an economic trade relations plan. But it's breaking open the shell, you see. It's starting to move in a way a lot of people don't want it to move. Remember, there are a lot of people that profit nightly. I mean, profit beyond our wildest dreams. As long as
Larry? He must have hit mute. Did you hit mute, Larry? We can't hear you. What happened? Hello, Larry. There you go. Larry?
Are you there?
Yeah.
Hello, are you there?
Did you hit the mute button accidentally?
Huh?
Did you accidentally hit the mute button?
I don't know what I did.
Okay.
But anyway, so it was not a peace package, but what was significant was Pelosi and Schumer. They called it a distraction. A distraction. Well, let me tell you about that little distraction. That little distraction was brought about not by what you saw yesterday, not by what you have seen in the past 3 or 4 months. No, ma'am. That distraction started a couple of years ago. See, Trump, being the marketing person, street smart, not a politician, a marketing man, he saw early on that if we can increase our oil and natural gas productivity to the point to where we could be self-sufficient, that we could drive down the price of oil and gas on the open market. Now, all of a sudden, you've got countries like Iran and all of these nations over there, Syria, etc. They're sitting there with oil, but they can't make any money selling at $40 a barrel. You see, Trump set them up. He set them up just as cold as if he let them in front of a firing squad. That's what business acumen does for you. That's when you know we've got somebody leading this country that while they may not be politicians as such, they certainly understand the world and the economy and business. So as long as we are able to supply our own oil and gas, natural gas, as long as we can keep it forced down to $40, $41 a barrel, and I know there are a lot of oil producers and oil companies here that don't want to hear that. You know, they'd like to see it up at $150 a barrel. I understand that. But if it ever goes to $150 a barrel again, look where you are putting the power. You're taking it away from us, and you're giving it to someone else. What Trump wants is we should always keep the power to ourselves. We are the power. Use it. And subsequently, he did. Now, it's my understanding there's about 8 to 10 more regional countries that are fixing to participate and sign on to this trade package. They're hoping to get it done right before the election so that will help Trump. We'll see. I don't like, as far as I'm concerned, I don't like dealing with the countries over there. Even your best friends, except for Israel, even your best friends over there you can't trust.
Yeah, Larry, I've even heard already people saying that this deal may allow more free access to Israel for terrorist attacks.
Well, once again, that's highly speculative thinking.
Very.
And, you know, I would rather us not advance things like that when we don't know for certain. And if we know it for certain, of course we advance it. We need to get it out.
So when we hear people in the Christian community saying things like that, we need to remind them that we need to stand against that, and we need to support our president because of the incredible things he's doing, and be going negative on this before the election.
Well, and then like our Christian friends, they're quizzing President Trump on his personality flaws. I guess you could say that. He's got them. He's got flaws. Sure does. But I'll tell you what he is. He's a man. And he believes in this nation. And he believes in the people of this country. And he's doing everything he can to protect and defend all of us. Black, white, blue, green. It doesn't matter. Which brings me to a little bit of a news flash. Found out.
Hey, Larry, just so you know, we have 87 people here. 93. Just jumped. 93.
I just found out this morning that $100 million of the money that was thrown on the tarmac in Iran in the middle of the night by Obama and Biden, 100 million of that has been applied back into funding Antifa and Black Lives Matter. So now you've got a perfect money trail. Now you've got our money that should have never been handled the way it was by anyone, especially a president. I mean, what kind of person would take $100 billion worth of cash, fresh dollar bills, and dump them on a tarmac in the middle of the night in the dark? What kind of person would do that? Unless you knew that that money was going to be used down the road for ulterior purposes. We're funding our destruction.
Mm-hmm.
Every day we are funding our own destruction. Figure that one out. And if you think it's accidental, then just know, how could they have known back then when Obama was still president and Biden was vice president, how could they have known back then that they were going to have to allocate $100 million of that money to fund rioting and reprisals here in America? See, that's when you start thinking, whoa, maybe there is such a thing as a conspiracy. Maybe there is such a thing as a plot to overthrow our country. Now, the good news is, yesterday, I don't know who I saw it on, maybe it was Tucker, maybe it was Hannity, I do not know. But with one of the reporters from Fox went down to a Biden rally in Florida, ostensibly to help him turn back the tide that was going towards Trump from the Latino community. Well, when they got there, guess what? There were more Trump people than there were Biden people at a Biden event. But what was so exciting to me, and it should be to all of you, I heard people that I have never talked to. To my knowledge, none of y'all have ever talked to. Maybe you have, I don't know. And they were saying they did not want socialism to come to this country.
Oh, that's big, big, big in Miami, Larry, because of all the Hispanics down there. They know. They fled socialism. So they know.
The Cubans, there's several Cubans were there in the crowd, and they were talking about how they were there when Castro took over, and how what's going on now in America mirrored almost exactly what happened when Cuba became a communist country. No socialism. Now, I fully expect between now and 48 days left till election you will see Trump get back on track, and he will start pumping out never socialism. Right now, he's doing the smart thing. He's picking individual things like law enforcement, all these different things that are happening. He's picking them. He's picking the right one. And he stands behind our law enforcement people. He stands behind our military. He stands behind the right way. But as we get closer to the election, he will have to start carrying the thematic of never socialism. Now the question is, I just told y'all, $50 million came to Antifa via Iran, funded by Barack Hussein Obama and Joseph Biden to destroy our country. Then another 50 million, we found out, was funneled into BLM, Black Lives Matter. Now let's get one thing straight, folks. There is an organization, BLM, Black Lives Matter, that is like a corporate group, like Antifa. And that's not people with serious concerns and just actually trying to get their voices heard. These are antagonists. These are people with a mission, with a strategy. And we now know with the money to fund all of these different riots and protests and such all around the country. Hang on. It's going to get worse. But now you know. Now you know Antifa. They're not just this group of people that believe what they believe and they just want their voices heard. That's not what they are. They're antagonists. It's one thing, and I'm proud to see this being talked about. It's one thing for people to riot and express their views. I say riot, to protest, and share their views and want the world to hear them. That's one thing. But destroying, looting, burning, folks, that's just criminal. There's nothing American about that at all. Yes, American is people expressing their views. That's not expressing your views. That's just criminal. And we're getting close, getting very close to the day that people are going to start calling 911. Ain't nobody coming. Ain't nobody coming. As a matter of fact, last night, there was an occasion where there was a shooting in, I want to say Chicago, I don't know if that's where it was, wherever it was. There was a drive-by and there was violence everywhere. It was going crazy. And people called 911. Guess what? Nobody answered. Nobody came. And of course, then the people turn around, they're mad at the police. That makes a lot of sense. You know, these are the same people that are out there screaming, defund the police. These are the same people that, can you imagine in America without law enforcement? Can you? Can you imagine a major city in America? Is there just, there's no such thing as police? How does that work? You know, remember, we are a nation of laws. And to be a nation of laws, it requires us to have an organization or a body of government to enact and protect those laws. Well, we're getting close. Where the police aren't going to take it anymore. And to be quite honest, I'm shocked they were not there already.
Oh, the rioters, Laura's from Pennsylvania, and she said, the rioters in Lancaster, Pennsylvania burnt the police station down a couple nights ago. She said they are being held for $1 million bail, and that stopped the riots pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just sorry that they let them get to the police station.
But you've got to watch out about that. Yes, that shut it down almost immediately. Let's see if the city sticks to it. Let's see if the prosecutor sticks to the guns. Does no good if they're going to bail out. No good at all. I want everybody held to the same standard I'm held to. If I go burning down a federal building, I can expect just about as fast as my little butt can get there. I would expect if I burnt down a federal building that I would be going to jail. And it would not matter if I was a black live, a white live, a green live, or any kind of live. It wouldn't matter. Let's see. Remember, you've got to watch out for these politicians. Watch out for these prosecutors. They'll placate. They'll placate to the public. They will. And one minute they'll look like the best thing that ever hit the earth. And then when your back's turned, they'll just do away with all of it.
Yeah, they could just very quickly and quietly release them and take that $1 million bail off their back.
And then if they don't release them and let it go, then you've got a problem, which is going to be Antifa, BLM, or whomever. They're all going to run around and they're going to start suing cities for putting such horrible fines and bail on people, especially when precedent's set. You see, here's where we're screwed again. Let's say, where was that they put $1 million on?
Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Well, hang on, folks, because what you're going to find is there's going to be some legal team going to run in on behalf of the people that have been arrested and facing the bail of $1 million in Lancaster. They're going to run in and they're going to say, whoa. Now, they burned one down in Baltimore. They didn't get stuck with that big of a bail or a fine. And what about Oakland? And they'll just start rattling off all the places where these things have happened before, but there was not these massive fines and penalties and bails. And they'll beat it. Be careful. That's why I say to all of you, focus on the one thing that is important to each and every one of us. We must re-elect Donald Trump. We must.
All right, Larry, we have 112 people here right now. And you need to look at the time. You've got 20 minutes to get yourself.
Does anybody have a question or two? Because I've got to go to the doctor here in just a second.
Is there, we've got about 6 questions, but I'm going to ask one. Is there a way to stop this money being used against us?
No. I like that answer. That answer was brief, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was good enough. Are Bernie and Harris in cahoots for his delegates? Is that what they're doing?
No.
How worried should we be about this coup?
About what?
The coup.
Well, we should be just scared stiff about the coup. The coup's not over. The coup has only begun. only the opening volleys of the coup. When this thing's going to get shaky, folks, and it's going to get shaky like the earthquake that struck San Francisco back in the whenevers, November 3rd, when it comes to counting votes, that's when this thing's going to get bad nervous. This country is going to be real paranoid. And if Trump wins, Democrats are going to claim he cheated. If Trump loses, we'll know the Democrats cheated. We'll even know how. They don't care. Who are you going to call? I did find out also something that I'm a little bit disappointed in. John Durham, may be going to come forward with another indictment or two, and he really wants to do it prior to the election. I really wish he wouldn't, but that's me. And the reason I say that, folks, I'm not trying to not get him to prosecute to the hilt everybody that deserves being prosecuted. It's just I don't want to see these prosecutions drawn into the world of politics and make it look like he's just a hatchet man. Number one, even if he indicts, even if he brings forth indictments on a couple of people, nothing will happen prior to the election.
Mm-hmm.
Can't possibly get into court prior to then. Anyway, what else you got? What other question right quick?
Isn't Hillary dead by now and using a double to impersonate her to keep the lie going?
Good God, no.
Will there really be debates?
As it looks right now, Fat Boy in Vegas, they're still running even money that between now and the 29th, Biden backs out, which may be connected to the Harris at the top of the ticket. You know, they may claim at the last minute Biden's having some health problems, so therefore they're going to split the ticket and put Harris at the top.
Can we get Obama on this money thing?
Uh-huh.
Good.
No. You talking about the money given to Iran?
Yeah. No. Okay.
Cannot.
And
now, can we get to him about the money being channeled to Antifa and BLM? Possibly.
Okay. Are there police or FBI in on the destruction of America?
Yes. A lot.
Yeah, I think when you see the guns they're using, it kind of gives you some indication of which way they.
Well, what's happened is the FBI primarily has culturally, for so many years, been infiltrated by the kind of creeps like Comey and others until now the FBI at many, many levels are corrupt. That bothers me. That doesn't mean that every member of the FBI is corrupt. I'm not saying that at all. But generally what you're going to find is the members of the FBI that are honest and clean, they're way down the ladder as far as rank. Thank you, Comey. Thank you, McCabe. They have literally taken a world-class institution and destroyed it.
All right, that's the last question, and you've got 15 minutes now to.
Yeah. Now, folks, I still need help. These things are coming in fast and furious on these copay thingies, and it's expensive. Remember, I spent virtually 7 months in a coma.
Yeah, and then you went back and were on a vent another week just a few weeks ago.
Yep. So if you're out there, now's the time to help. If you want to help me, help us.
Yeah.
This is the big show. This is what we all came to see. This is the game we all came to play in. It's here. We all got to suit up and get in. Have faith. Good heavens, have faith. And when I say have faith, I don't mean like so many people would just turn it over to God. God's got it in control. He doesn't need our help. He'll do it. No. I'm not saying he can't twitch his nose and make the whole world spin upside down. Yes, he can. But I think if you look at the Bible, if you look at going all the way back, you will see that it seems to be his desire to get us to do it. He's there to protect us and to help us, but he wants us to do it. We got to do it. So I don't want to hear any of that. I don't want people calling in and anymore in the next 48 days and saying, I don't know, everybody's worried about God's in control, da-da-da-da-da, I've read the book. I don't know how the book ends. I know you do. But every one of us, it's as much our country as it is yours. Yep. It's as much your country as it is mine. And we all got to do our part. So now, I'm going to go, but I do want to open up the line, folks, so anybody that can, please hit that PayPal. Mary Ellen will go over it when I'm out of here. Anything else, Mary Ann?
No,
Mary Ellen?
That's it. Somebody's just asking about Christopher Wray at the head of the FBI right now.
Oh, my God.
Don't get you started. All right, that's enough said.
That's enough. Once again, don't be mad necessarily at Trump and say, well, gosh, Trump appointed him. Remember how those kind of things take place. When there's an opening like the director of the FBI, what happens, they put together a team. They go out and they put a short list together, and then they run the short list by the president. He's not as active in that as one would think. He's not as active in it as he probably should be.
Yeah.
And I think Ray has proven to President Trump next time he'll be a lot more involved.
Yeah. Well, it's just like he's given his list, added to his list for the Supreme Court. He's got some good people on there. So, all right.
All right.
Thanks, Larry.
Well, thank you, and folks, please help dig in, dig deep. We need it quick.
All right.
All right. Thank you all. See you tomorrow.
Okay. Bye. All right. He's headed to the doctor now. He's got to get himself together and get out the door pretty quick here. I was going to take him, but his wife's car is a little lower than mine. He was having some trouble getting in, so I was going to take him, but they think they've figured out a way to get him over there, so without me, so I don't have to go rushing out. I'm just going to add something. I saw in the August, just last month, Williamson County, Texas, the Advocate News. In the Publisher's Corner, Mike Payne said something profound. Bad government is elected by good citizens who don't vote. That's like what Adams said, President Adams said, but evil prevails when good people do nothing. And I have argued till I'm blue in the face with some people on Facebook that I have befriended just so that I could try and stop what they're doing and telling people not to vote, because, I keep going in there and say, if you don't vote, then you have voted. Larry has said this over and over again. If you stay home and do not vote, you are giving the win to Biden, and we will be fully communist, just like we would have been by now had Hillary won. So we have got to make sure we're voting. Find out from the Republican Party in your area if you can help drive people to the polls if they don't have a ride. Help provide rides, get involved in poll watching, find out what you need to do to be able to do that. Sign up to be an election judge at your precinct. Get involved. We have got to not just stay home on election day. And if you've got early voting, then participate in helping with those, poll watching and electioneering at your, maybe electioneering is the wrong thing, being an election judge at, in your area, even on early days. So this early voting stuff is, these are just some of the tricks that the Democrats have used to try and get more of their people out. So anyhow, thank you guys for being here. God bless you. We will be back tomorrow. And Rana, I know Larry got $50 in the mail. Was it yesterday or Monday? I think it was Monday. He didn't say the name. He just told me he got $50. So it might have even been Saturday. I know it's been in the last few days. And that money's been... That was the day that yes, that was Monday, because then he went to the hospital Monday evening after the program here. He was really feeling down and had pushed himself way too hard. He tried to go to the hospital. The hospital would not let him come in unless he made a large payment on his copay. So, anyhow, the rest of the money came in that night, and so he was able to go to the hospital yesterday morning, which gave him what he needed to be able to do Jason's show yesterday. Rana, thank God for Judicial Watch. And there was somebody significant. Was it Trump himself? Maybe it was Tucker. I saw somebody last night talking about how much they are grateful for what Judicial Watch has been doing. And Auntie M, thank you for that PayPal. I remember we talked about that last week. So I thank you for that. And yeah, I agree with you, Scott. If anybody who donates $25 or more, make sure you let me know. I'll put your name in the hat and we'll do a drawing soon, now that we've got, we've gone over $1,000 with that one big gift. But I thought we'd just at least give it another week to see, because I don't want the whole bowl to be filled with, one or two people's big donations. So, I want to give y'all a fighting chance to participate in this. So thank you. We will talk tomorrow. Be blessed tonight. See you tomorrow. Bye. And if anybody needs an alternative to PayPal, make sure you text me. The information for that is in the description box down below. All right, bye now.